By the age of 5, Andy Hale and his younger half-brother Jason had been through 3 foster homes. Social services described them as difficult to place children. In 1985, Dr. Andrew Hale, a university lecturer, and his wife Helen, a teacher, applied to adopt. They were offered Andy and Jason.
Out of the blue, just before Christmas, social services phoned up and said, would you like to have them? And I thought they meant for Christmas. And I said, you mean for Christmas? And they said, no, for good.
They had one possession, didn't they? Andrew had a monkey and Jason had a teddy. That's all the possessions they came with. Which is awful, isn't it, really? 5 years of age, that's all.
Yeah. We'd only had Andrew and Jason for a day, and he'd fallen in love with them. Jason, when he smiled, it was like
sunshine.
And he lit up the room, you know, and it was contagious.
Andrew was desperate to have a mum and dad.
He fell in love with them straight away. You know, the message was, love them, and that was the answer. Oh, well, he did love them. Wonderful.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. It's hard to believe that what was so good there, you know, has turned out as it has.
16 years on, Andrew and Helen's relationship with the boys has broken down. Andy is now 21 and serving a 2-year prison sentence for arson. 18-year-old Jason has a problem with drugs and alcohol. Andrew and Helen now want to sue social services for encouraging them to adopt such difficult children.
We started having problems with Andrew when he was 13, 14, I mean shoplifting and physical and verbal abuse. And that's when he erupted, and that triggered Jason off. So it was like a double nuclear bomb going off in our family. That's the only way to describe it.
Andy and Jason were severely neglected by their natural mother. Given the boys' damaged background, the Hales argued they were ill-equipped to make suitable parents for them.
I think because we were recently married and inexperienced.
We hadn't fostered children before.
We hadn't fostered children before. It actually said on our form that we shouldn't have disturbed children. And yet, you know, under anybody's analysis, these kids would have been, I suppose, disturbed.
The youngest boy, Jason, left school with no qualifications and is unemployed.
I think I've let them down a lot because I didn't turn out the way they wanted me to be. And when we got adopted, like when I was a little kid, we had these forms about us, I don't know what they're called. Like, I've grown up, a bit older, I've read it, and on it goes damaged goods. What it means is damaged goods, like, as if I've been bought in the shop.
Andrew's eldest son, Andy, has been in prison for 2 years. Today, he's being released.
It's bleak, isn't it? I mean, you know, we're apprehensive because the last time on, I think he was on £60, he got so drunk, you know, he ended up setting 2 buses on fire. And to come out at this time of the year, Christmas Eve, you know, when everybody's drinking and celebrating and so on, I think it's you know, it could go pear-shaped quite easily. Right? Don't go back inside.
That's
You agree?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Just come to the car.
What's Mum got on the house then? She got cans, like?
Mum?
Yeah.
Candles?
No, not candles, cans.
Cans? Cans of what? Your Coke, yeah?
Lemonade, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, and she bought some. Because if not, I'll buy some.
We can punch to it.
Huh?
I'm going to make some punch.
Wait, so you're going to give me a punch?
Oh, that might be on the cards as well before the day's out.
In Worcester, Andy's brother Jason has come up to his parents' house to wait for him.
You can sing like this.
Excuse me.
I'll get a job. Listen to that bit. I ain't seen my brother properly now for 3 years, like. So he might as well be dead, like. I've virtually forgotten about him being inside, like. But I still love him. We're the closest I knew, like. Every time we saw each other, we'd be play fighting. My dad would think it's real fighting. Sometimes it did turn rough. I've ended up stabbing him and everything, like.
Andrew, shoes.
Yeah, I'm still smoking.
Cigarette stubs all over my garden again now.
So the thing about Christmas is the house always looks good. Hi, Mum.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks, how are you?
I'm alright, thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice to be out.
Yeah?
You lost your hair.
Gran's in the other room.
Yeah, I'm going to see Gran. But I've got out this time. With all good intentions. Let's just see how long it lasts. It should be okay. I don't know, that's the thing, you see. It could be anything. I could be walking down the street and someone, I'll see someone that I don't like, or I could, get a job that I really enjoy and, probably get my head down, and that's my plan. Just to probably get my head down and get on with life and get it, get everything sorted. I've had enough of just, making Dad upset all the time. I've need you to come to probation with me. And then once that's sorted, I've got to go to Brayley House.
It's getting late.
Yeah.
It's Christmas Eve. I ain't bought a single present. It's Christmas Eve.
Nick Sally buys presents every year, like. Doesn't buy a fucking present. Don't think I've had a Christmas present off him since I was fucking born. Yeah, Jay. Yeah. See you later.
Ta-ra.
Yeah.
Ta-ra. Behave.
Andy and Jason are staying in hostels. They've been banned from living at home since Andy wrecked the house and stole his grandmother's credit card, and Jason threatened his father.
We don't want them living at home with us. We've been down that road before. I've had a knife at my throat, and Helen has been, threatened and hit, and we can't do that again. We don't want to do it again. If they came home here, they wouldn't have to go to find a job, and that would mean that they would be wandering the streets. They would be, and we've been there before, and it ended in disaster. It ended with our house being full of their so-called friends, and we had a house wrecked, and we can't do that.
It would just end in a complete breakdown of the relationship. And when we were trying to build up the relationship, they came back, it wouldn't last very long, and then, they'd have to go in unpleasant circumstances, and then that would just be a complete breakdown,
And you just think, why are we doing this? I just feel at times we want to cut and run. And we do, we've talked about that. That's how bad it gets. But what stops us, we live the lives.
Met Jason and Ashley and Dan, and Ashley had loads of money on him, so he started drinking champagne. 4 bottles of champagne, which cost about 110, 120 quid. Had all that, and then left RSVP because I was sick. Got kicked out of RSVP, went into Woolworths, and imagine like the biggest portable stereo you could imagine. I just walked in, picked it up, walked around Woolworths like I owned the place, walked straight out, nothing, no one said anything, no one came after me, nothing. Next thing you know, the security have come to us and said, oh, we know you've nicked this, and I gave my stuff back straight away, and I said, look to them, don't bother pressing charges, because, I'm going to get breach of licence, and I'll be going back down for 6 months. Going, the police have already been called and everything else. Fair enough. I went to the police station, told them straight, just told them the truth, to be honest. I mean, I was that embarrassed about shoplifting. I've never been done for shoplifting in my life.
It's my present. Oh yeah, it's my present. Sam, happy Christmas. Here he is, look, from Mum and Dad's.
Thanks, Mum. Sorry.
I chose that.
Yeah.
You did actually.
What? Hello.
What?
I'm John Skibberson.
Oh, thank you.
Happy Christmas, Mum.
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew blames the boys' bad behaviour on the trauma they suffered in their early years. He thinks they have attachment disorder, which means they failed to bond with their natural mum, and as a result, can't form bonds with others.
Looks horrible.
Yeah, what's Jason?
Well,
Cheers. There is a bond between us, and I believe that.
There's only been a bond.
I know that, but it's a bond that hasn't worked properly,
Yeah.
right? Well, why doesn't it work properly? It's not your fault, it's not my fault. It's reactive attachment disorder.
It's an excuse, really, isn't it?
Why is it an excuse?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Dad, I think that you look for something to excuse the way that I behave. You look for... I'm honest, you know.
What? Yeah, I'm sure social services would love to hear that. I am certain.
What do you mean?
Well, because they too are trying to deny that, you know, that...
At the end of the day, social services fucked up.
Well, exactly, we know that. But
And I think the attachment order...
Attachment disorder.
Attachment disorder, I reckon we should, it should be looked into. And I know, and you sent me all the stuff in jail, and you said, you know, you ticked off all these things, and you're saying, you know, you suffered from all of this sort of stuff. You know, even down to, it was like hoarding of food at a young age. It was like, you know, stuff that I had absolutely no idea why the hell I was nicking stuff, not even eating it, just storing it up. You know, fair enough, you know, but I'm 21 now, Dad. I can't keep blaming it. At some point, I've got to grow out of it.
Andrew wants social services to pay for the boys to receive counselling.
By exploring the reasons what has happened to you and, you know, the theory of attachment disorder, that it might help you make a progress in the future.
I'm willing to do all this counselling stuff, but if it's some geezer sat on the other end of a table saying to me, oh, how do you feel? I'll tell him how I bloody feel.
Well, I agree with that. I do understand.
Well, I'm not having any of that, and I'm not having no group sessions. Could you stand up and talk about your problems? No, not really, because I don't know any of you.
Well, you know, I mean, that's positive. I really think that's good. Anyway, this is getting a bit heavy for Christmas Day. You know, we want to enjoy the rest of the day.
Andy has been out of prison for 6 weeks. He's due back in court for breaking his licence by refusing to stay at his bail hostel and failing to report to probation.
I was going to have myself in on Monday tomorrow, but as I'm getting closer to Monday, I'm thinking, nah, fuck that. It's not even the fact that I'm handing myself in and going back to jail, because, you know, I'm not too fussed about jail. It's the fact that if I walk into the police station, I'm getting paranoid to fuck that they're going to find extra charges. I mean, I've done a couple of things that I ain't going to mention just yet. Because if I get away with it, then I ain't going to say anything.
Just the two of us. With the castles in the sky, just the two of us. One, you mid, no, tell them the glass. 1, and you 2, 3. One and the other. Go on, Jay. Go on, get it in you, son.
You know, we have warned and we have tried to persuade them to get off the streets, and they're with these so-called friends. They're all living in this bloody, on the fringes of the law, and into these scams and so on. What they really want to do is go and do a decent day's job and get paid that way like the rest of us.
We've got a car.
Pardon?
I'm buying a car.
Ford Fiesta or something like that.
But you're living in Cloud Cuckoo Land. You know, you're talking about getting a car when you're supposed to be in court tomorrow. I'm court on Friday. You don't know where to live.
Well, I'm in court tomorrow and Tuesday. It's your birthday, isn't it, Monday?
Are you going to go?
No. I just can't see the point in going back to jail. Like.
Because it's the correct thing to do.
This is the longest I've been out ever.
Yeah, but who's probably... But Andrew,
6 weeks, this is
Andrew,
the longest I've ever been out of jail.
If you keep on breaking the law, then you will end up back in jail. It's as simple as that. If you keep on doing...
I don't break the law. I just can't. I just breach my licence. I just can't stick to curfews. I can't stick. Yes, but I'm not getting caught for any of it.
Oh, so it's all right to commit. It's all right to commit the crimes as long as you get away with it. Your beliefs and values are fundamentally different from ours because we believe in the rule of law. I don't believe in stealing. I don't believe in committing crimes.
I've got morals.
But
I've never robbed anyone that couldn't defend themselves. Either that's.
You robbed my mother.
As in a street robbery, that different thing. You see, you always start. You always have to say shit don't mind you.
Breaking the law is not the way forward.
What's he going to do now?
I don't know, but I've got to go upstairs. I've left my credit cards upstairs. Okay? Andrew, my card has gone from here. My Barclay card. Please give it back to me.
I haven't got anything on it.
You know, it's not the bloody first time, is it? It's happened before. I put my wallet down there as I went into the bathroom and he's been up here. Please, Andrew.
At what point have I had a chance to...
It was here.
Well, I didn't even know it was on there, did I? Are you sure you haven't left it somewhere?
No!
I haven't had a chance to take anything.
And I've left it up there like a fool and it's gone. I took my dressing gown off, put my wallet down without thinking, and as a result my bloody thing got gone. Andrew?
Yeah?
Where are you? If you've got it, Andrew, hand it over.
At what point have I
You've been up here by yourself,
I
Andrew.
didn't even know your wallet was up here.
If it is you, I have got to go to the police. I have got to go to the police.
Excuse me, will I still be stood here?
I don't know, Andrew. I swear on my mother's life, I will go to the police. Okay?
Do you think he's taken it?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Every fucking time.
Eight weeks after his release, the police have caught up with Andy and he's been arrested for breach of licence and sentenced to 3 months in Gloucester prison. He's written a letter to Andrew and Helen.
I wrote a poem the other day when I was going through a depressed part of my day, and it's called In My Cell. Every inmate sits and stares in thoughts of everyone that cares. My dad who loves me with all his heart, his advice is direct just like a dart. My mum who seems not to care, but I know she does despite her fear. To go back in time I wish I could. I'd do things differently, I know I would. Our expectations are too high for these kids and they can't live up to them. That we expect them to be normal, we expect them, and of course given their backgrounds they can't. These kids are taking on and given a middle class veneer, but with Andrew and Jason, the people they seem happiest with seem to be a different, well I won't use the word class, but different strata of society.
Well, it's like church castle things, isn't it?
Cathedral, mate.
Oh, that's called cathedral.
I've told my old man this. I was like, at the end of the day, I can't turn around and say, look, you're a bad influence, go away. Like, you just can't do it. Mates are mates, so I stick by them. That's it.
The next day, Andrew speaks to Andy in prison.
Andrew, Jason's in trouble. Well, you know, the night before his birthday, you know, he came out with it on his birthday with us, yeah? He got so-called friends again. He got rip-roaring drunk, and he attacked some Asian boys. And he's put an Asian lad in hospital. Well, he's been had up for racist assault. Well, he's pleaded guilty, Andrew. I wasn't there. Andrew? Andrew? It's gone off. He's crying.
My mate said that I was foaming from the mouth and it. So it was probably the drink. If I blacked out, I don't know what was going on though. Foaming from the mouth. It's drink and it's cider. Rough cider.
Did you spend the night in the cells?
Yeah. Didn't even know till about 12 o'clock though. One of the policemen come in and said happy birthday like.
Jason has been convicted of racial assault and sentenced to 6 months. With both sons in prison and no further news on their claim against social services, Andrew and Helen have gone to their caravan in Hereford.
Well done. No.
I'm on 12, you're on 13.
Yeah, okay, rub it in if you want. What's happened since the two boys have gone outside of our lives is we're getting our lives back together. We never had a break. To be able to come down here and enjoy our company. Our marriage nearly broke over it, and now you know we're enjoying each other's company and we're enjoying our lives because we've got lives to lead as well. To be honest, I'd rather put the barrier up. I'd rather put the barrier up and say, look, you can stay away from us and get on with your life and leave us to ourselves. We've done our bit. We can't do any more.
Has it made you look at yourselves? Has it made you look at how you brought them up and all those things?
No, I don't think. To be honest, I think I know Helen has been a bloody good mother to them, and like any other parents, you do what you think is best, and I think we did that. You know, I love these two boys.
And even in the last few years when they've done all that they've done to us, we've still been there.
Yeah.
You know, and the last few years we've still been there. And we've put up with a lot in the last few years, but but I think we have reached a point now where you just say, well, what more can we do?
Well, we can't do it.
They've got to do it on their own, I think. I do think they've got to do it on their own. Because sometimes I think the more we say to them, the more we try and discuss them, the more they just want to do the opposite to whatever we want them to do anyway. So I think it's got to come from them.
After 3 months in prison, Jason is being released on probation.
Now, if you do see any of your friends, just take it easy and Hello? Yeah, I know. Let me just say it then. I'll be happy there. Go on then. Just take it easy and, don't fall into that trap of doing what they want you to do. You've got to be your own man. They won't end up going back inside. If you break your bail, you will. And we don't want that, and you don't want it. And I know you don't. You've told me enough today to suggest that you are going to change. So,
I am.
Yeah, well that's the important.
No, I am.
Pardon?
No, I am.
You have. Well, I know. I mean, you can see that by all the certificates and all the stuff you've done. It's brilliant.
fun there.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets? Giving it up?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not posting it.
See the birds in swim costumes.
Yeah, of course, always good. God, you're mad.
Andrew is dropping Jason at probation to sort out his bail conditions and hostel.
Okay.
See the back of the house.
Okay.
Remember?
He's asked him up to the house later for a family dinner.
Shut up. Good luck.
Yeah.
Listen to what he said. I think it's difficult for people to understand why, as parents, we're clearly close to Jason and wanting to do things for him, and at the same time we're saying, no, you're not coming home to live. We're torn, we really are torn. But as I say, we believe that he's got to prove it to us this time. And if you call that tough love, well, fine, so be it. We've tried all the other kinds and it didn't work. If he makes positive moves, we should make positive moves. And I think he knows that, that we will do everything to help him if he helps himself. That's all we can do. So hopefully, just keep your fingers crossed.
Three hours later, Jason hasn't turned up.
Was it like homecoming dinner?
Yeah, it was really. It's, Jason's one of his favourite dinners was roast dinner, really. He used to like coming up on a Sunday and having roast, or any time really. If you said to Jason what, he likes steak, but he also likes his roast chicken, and so that, I thought, I'll do that for him, because I would never do this normally in the week.
Lost track of time, and then after that I made it up. I was going to catch a bus, but I thought, no, I'll walk. And by the time I got there, it was too late to pop up Mum and Dad's. So.
Do you think they wanted you to be there?
Yeah, but I was going to ring them, but by the time I knew the time, I was past the last phone box, so I thought, I can't.
Andrew and Helen are in Birmingham to meet a barrister who's looking into their case against social services. He thinks they have a strong argument, but it will cost them £40,000 to take it to court.
Independent person.
Yeah.
They've decided they can't afford it, but are planning to make an official complaint independently.
If they do feel a bit like David and Goliath at times, and you feel sometimes, well, okay, you might get a support. It'd be wonderful if we had the barrister on our side, because, then you'd have the heavy brigade on our side as well. And that's what's sad, that we don't have that now, and that we're back to going it alone again, because I think he would have torn into them. But I think we can still make a pretty good case, and I hope we'll find out the truth, because the truth does matter. It's out there, to quote, is it Mulder? The truth is out there. By God, we'd like to know it,
It's April, and Andy's just completed his third prison sentence. In the last 2.5 years, he's only spent 2 months on the outside.
My phone's going on and on and on.
How are you?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Yeah. I am all good.
How's it been?
Good. Very good. Different this time, because I was only doing 10 weeks, so it was like only a short sentence. Something usual was a year at least. I got some certificates and stuff when I was in there this time, and I got all my letters and stuff. So some souvenirs. Like.
What time do they open?
Hey, 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Sod that. Walk up here a bit then. Oh, there's another pub up here, isn't there?
There's got to be somewhere in there.
Well, mate, here's to freedom.
Yeah, to freedom. Freedom.
Lovely. So, mate, you're going to be legless by the time you get back, son.
While Andy's been in prison, there's been a development in Andrew and Helen's fight against social services. 2 letters have appeared. They were written by Andy and Jason's birth mother in 1992, at the time of their adoption. The boys should have been given them on their 18th birthdays, but they had been lost.
They've been slap-happy in the way that they've treated the boys, you know, holding letters back. We've asked for, how many times have we asked for social services to give our records, right? We want all files with us in it, and no answer. They've ignored us. She wanted them to know why she had them adopted. You know, we didn't know what she was thinking. They didn't give us that chance, and God, that's got to be wrong. I know our 2 boys are very bitter about their birth mother, and we have not had the chance, because we weren't told the whole thing, to be able to tell them the truth.
Jason doesn't want to read the letter from his birth mother. He has, however, opened another letter from his social worker, explaining his pre-adoptive history. It's information he should have been given years ago.
I've got 4 brothers and sisters that I don't even know about, right? I never knew about them till I got that letter. Basically, I reckon if I had that letter and I was a lot younger, I reckon it would have sorted my head out a lot earlier, because there's a big hole in my head that it's missing a lot of stuff.
Andy was told about his letter whilst in prison, and he doesn't want to read it either.
It was sent to my parents off my born mother. The thing that gave birth to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm your son. I've been to jail. Look what you brought up. I mean, I was like 3 years old, and like I'm getting locked in my room, like where she'll have gangbangs with like 6 geezers for drink, you know, or whatever she was. I think she was on heroin as well. But if you're shoplifting when you're 4 or 5 years old for things like Weetabix, I mean, I remember going to a shop one day and just walking clean out with some Weetabix. The shop owner looked at me and he knew I was nicking it. I think it was like the fact that he knew my mum. It must be shagged or something, dirty slag.
Excuse me, there's 2s up. Just put it there.
Why did you do all your crimes? What was I doing? My born mum. I reckon as I've got older, I've just started seeping back into the way that I would have been if I hadn't been adopted.
So she gave us up for adoption, and now, fair play, I have had a lot better of a life. Like, I love mum and dad to bits, I do. Because they are my mum and dad, like, I've known them since I was 2. Like.
If I saw her in the street, I'd shoot her.
I can't remember.
Andrew and Helen have also received a letter. It's from the boy's birth mother, and should have been given to them at the time of the adoption.
Well, what it says, I love my sons very much, which is why I'm not contesting the adoption. I have met Mr. and Mrs. Hale on several occasions. As far as I can see, they can give my sons far more than I can in the way of stability, security and family life in general. On top of that, there are certain things that have happened in their lives that are far too much for their safety and to return them to my family. I also hope that sometime in the future, if Mr. and Mrs. Hale will explain to Andrew and Jason how deeply I love them and the reason they were adopted, so they could have a chance in life which they couldn't have had with me. Why weren't we given that 15 years ago? Why have we had to wait for that? It's not fair. Because I think things like that would have made a difference. I think they would have helped. I think they would have, I think the boys would have understood where they came from and why they'd been adopted and what it was all about. You know.
After being told what his birth mother had written to Andrew and Helen, Andy has decided he wants to open his letter.
It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I think I kind of know what the letter's going to say. What a fucking bollocks, to be honest with you. How sorry she was, and you know how she put a load of shit. So I don't believe a fucking word she says. Jason does. That's the thing. Jason believes it all. I don't believe a fucking word.
Here's the letter from your birth mother. And there's a photograph of her in there as well.
Yeah, you can get it out straight.
No, don't do that, Andrew. And don't rip it up either, please. Promise me.
Sorry if I start laughing. I'm not very good at writing letters. Explaining how I feel about what has happened is even worse. My date of birth is I don't even want to fucking know. By the time you're 18, Andrew, I'll be 35. Andrew, your father's name is... Fuck off. This is a fucking joke, Dad, to be honest with you.
Read it, Andrew.
Jason, your father's name is Piss Off. Even though he didn't get on, that never stopped him loving... This is a joke, Dad.
Read it, Andrew. Do read it. Think about it before you...
If you're ever here to see him, he has your name tattooed on his arm. The reason I've given you this information is not just so that you know who your parents are. If you should ever choose to look for any of us, then I hope that it will help you. The only thing left to tell you, the 2 poems I wrote for you both, not long after we parted. No one knows the heartache I've tried so hard to hide. No one knows how many times that I've broke down and cried. I've cried because I love you. I've cried because I care. I've cried because I wake up to find that you're not there. I think of your smiles and your sweet faces every day. You're on my mind always while I am away. I may not be with you in body and soul, but always my spirit is with you, you know. So, heal smiling children for your heart, known for always while we are apart. Please remember how you're always welcome.
I told you I didn't like what you do.
Well, at least you know now. You know that there is a birth mother out there, right, who does care, and she had you adopted because she couldn't manage, yeah? Yes? You know, and use this as a turning point for yourself. Yeah? You know we love you, don't we? Don't you? Huh? I mean, Christ, Andrew, we could have walked away from you ages ago. You pushed us hard enough. But we won't. But she loved you, didn't she? Yeah? She did, Andrew. She couldn't write poetry like that. You write poetry. You wrote me poetry, didn't you? Yeah? The temper's not that, you know, just don't promise me one thing, you won't go drinking tonight. Promise me. Does that letter spell rejection? I don't think it does. Her letter doesn't spell rejection to me. Does that? You know. Okay?
Yeah, it's helped in a way, I think. At least now I know that I wasn't just got rid of for the fucking fun of it. Like, you know, it wasn't like she rejected me for who I was or anything. You know, she did have reasons to get rid of me. Whereas I've always thought she just didn't want to know, sort of thing. I thought she just wanted a baby and that was it. You know, she didn't want the kid, sort of thing. She just wanted the baby. Which is what I always told myself. So, just made me realise that I do need to see a counsellor, and I do need to sort all this stuff out. I do need to sort my life out, because once my life's and everything else is sorted out, and and I know that I'm staying out of trouble, and I think I'll be a lot more sorted. I think it's just in the next couple of weeks I'll be all over the place again now, trying to sort my life out. But once I can get it there and it's all good, it's all sorted, then so I'll be there then.
Jason is still unemployed, but hoping to go to college. Andy is back in prison for breaking bail again. Andrew and Helen are continuing with their complaint. Social services have not commented.
1 in 4 of us will suffer some kind